Welcome to the hashtag Makers Creative Collab, hosted by the amazing PM Artist Studio, aka Patricia Carmichael and Mariah Rushing. My name is Christy Hartman, and I'm delighted you decided to join me in this video hop. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to enjoy all of the beautiful artwork from each participating artist. There's a link at the end of my video which will take you on to the next artist's video. So this month's theme is striking sticks. To me, the theme represented nature and the sounds of nature. I love to sit under a tree and listen to the breeze rustle the leaves. And of course, I can imagine the branches inadvertently hitting one another. If I were a musician, I could imagine developing a song representing those sounds. But since I am an artist, I decided to do a canvas based on the idea of a tree and the landscape behind it. My husband and I enjoy side-by-siding in our UTV. We traveled to central Montana toward the end of June and came across this beautiful vista on the top of a mountain plateau. The tree was silhouetted against a darkening sky. When we travel, I'm always looking for trees to take photos of, which are stark and dead or dying, because the contrast of the tree against the skyline fascinates me. Once I arrived home, I wondered if I could turn that beautiful scene into a collage using my gel printed papers. I used a combination of PM Artist Studio stencils and my own stencils that I cut myself. The first obstacle was the sky. I printed the photo of the landscape out in black and white so I could see the values in the skyline, and I then developed a set of stencils which would represent the three different values of light, medium, and dark. You will be able to see the stencils I cut in my process video this next week. Once I cut the stencils, I printed a number of different prints, and of course each one is slightly different. And here's two examples of the prints that I did. This one is on just white cardstock, and this one is on deli paper. And even though I use the same stencils on each one of these skylines is completely different, and I think you would notice that in the two canvases as well. The second obstacle was the foreground, and I chose to use a batik technique with wrinkled up deli paper to develop the look of the grass in the foreground. Here's my deli paper, where I took it and wrinkled it up, placed it on the gel plate using the paint colors that I had chosen, and this is the resulting print. You will also be able to see this particular technique in my process video this next week. Next, I worked out a system for the rocks, and I used a variation of the batik technique, which I will share with you in my process video. However, as you can see, in this one, I used the foreground paper and simply added glazes of a darker shading color to develop the look of the rocks. I left the paper as the highlight, and here I left the paper instead of adding grass. This one, instead, I added the grass with my paintbrush, and of course the rocks that I collaged onto my canvas, as well as adding some painted detail. The tree with its dead branches was completed next. This one, the tree is simply stenciled onto the canvas. I sketched out the tree, cut the stencil using my brother's ScanNCut, and then stenciled the tree onto the canvas. In this one, I cut the tree out of gel printed paper and collaged it right onto the canvas. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know about you, but I have a great time developing projects based on these themes. I hope you have a great time as well. Remember to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so that I know that you are here. And remember to stay tuned for the coupon code and for the end screen, which will take you to the next video. See you next time.